Okay, ready to dive in. We're tackling cross-functional teams today. You know those CFTs everyone's talking about.
hmm
You sent over a ton on this, and honestly, I'm excited to dig in. Though, gotta admit, I used to think CFTs were like just a fancy way to say teamwork.
Right.
But after this research, whoa, there's way more to it.
It is kind of wild how CFTs have been like this miracle solution for businesses, like you just throw cross-functional on a group and bam, innovation, efficiency. But reality's more complicated as usual.
For sure. So let's back up a sec. For anyone who's not totally up to speed on their CFT jargon, what are we even talking about here?
Basically, CFTs bring people from different departments together,
Right.
marketing, finance, whoever, to tackle one specific business problem. The whole idea is combining those viewpoints, the different skills, gets you a better look at the problem and hopefully
Yeah.
more creative, more effective solutions.
It's like that two heads are better than one thing,
Yeah,
but like way more specialized and bigger scale.
totally. And that early hype around CFTs, it wasn't all wrong. Some real success stories came out of it, especially with innovation.
Yeah.
Companies using CFTs well, often they had tons of new ideas, and those ideas, they became reality faster.
Speaking of success stories, anything super memorable from what you read?
Oh, Nissan in the early 2000s. Textbook case study. They were like on the edge. Huge losses. That
Yeah.
big restructuring. CFTs at the core. 2 years. Profit went from 6.8 million to 1.6 billion with a B.
Now that's a comeback.
Maybe.
But what I find interesting is the research doesn't just say CFTs are a guaranteed win, right?
Right.
There's a lot about why some teams, they just flop.
Yeah, and that's where it gets really interesting. You can't just toss people from different departments together and call it a CFT. It'll be a mess. You need the right stuff, the right setup. Almost like a magic touch, honestly.
So what are those things? What separates the rockstar CFTs from the
Yeah.
ones that just like fizzle? Okay, now I got to know. It's like we're about to unlock the secrets to like a perfect CFT recipe. So spell it, what those magic ingredients, the things that really make it work.
Think of it less like a recipe, more like building a race car, Not just slapping parts together, but like real high-performance stuff.
Okay, I'm with you.
The research goes into companies, Hewlett-Packard, Eastman Kodak. They did some cool stuff. And a big thing that comes up, leadership. And this is key, it's not the typical boss man, do-it-my-way leadership that wins in a CFT.
Really? Huh. I always figure you need that strong leader, someone who takes charge,
It's trickier than that. From what I read, the best CFT leaders, they're more like orchestra conductors, not drill sergeants. They
Yeah.
set the direction, sure, but they focus on open talk, making everyone feel heard, empowering, guiding, not just ordering people around.
So less about the commands, more about everyone feeling ownership. I can see that. You want people invested, not just going through the motions.
Exactly. And that ownership thing, that shared commitment, that's another big ingredient. Can't just assign tasks and boom, amazing results. The research really stressed this. Each person has got to be in on the mission. Know the why, not just the what.
Kind of like those crazy college group projects where everyone's up all night, not because they have to be, but because they're that into it.
Totally. Which is where good communication, man, it's essential. Imagine you got all these smart people, different departments, different jargon, different priorities,
Sure.
keeping everyone on the same page, making sure knowledge is flowing smoothly. That's tough.
It's like a room full of people speaking different languages, right? You need that common ground,
Yeah.
some way to translate how these successful teams do it.
So Hewlett-Packard, for instance, big on face-to-face meetings. They knew that in-person connection, even video calls when they had to, it made a difference.
Not just firing off emails into the void, hoping for the best.
Nope. It's about making time for real talk, real collaboration.
Did the research mention any other like specific communication strategies? What else worked?
Trust building, big time. And not just formal stuff like updates, reports, but also, and this is important, the casual stuff, encouraging people to actually get to know each other, build those relationships.
Makes a huge difference, I bet. Feeling connected, like you're all really in it together, especially when things get tough.
100%. Builds camaraderie, that shared understanding, works more fun, more gets done.
So we've got leaders who empower, a team that's fully on board, communication that builds trust. This is less like a work group, more like, I don't know, a well-oiled machine,
And here's what's cool. When a CFT really clicks, the good stuff goes beyond just that one task. It can actually make the whole company more collaborative, more innovative.
Like a ripple effect, that positive energy, it spreads out.
Exactly. Now, want to shift gears a bit because we got to talk about how CFTs change how a company deals with the outside world too. specifically those big business-to-business relationships. The research you sent hinted at, like, a whole revolution there.
Yeah, I was super interested in that. Those connections with suppliers, with customers, that's everything, right?
Everything. And CFTs, they can bring this whole other level of, like, depth, strategic thinking to those relationships.
Instead of just, say, the purchasing department handling suppliers, you're pulling in people from all over.
Right. Imagine a CFT with engineering, marketing, sales, even logistics, all working together to build a real partnership with a supplier.
Sounds like that'd lead to some wild innovation, not to mention efficiency. Any real-world examples of this in action?
Oh, yeah. Volvo Cars. Fascinating case study on how they use CFTs to build amazing relationships with their suppliers.
Okay, full disclosure, I'm a bit of a car geek. Volvo's always been interesting. What'd they do?
They realized, hey, our cars are only as good as the parts we use, right? So working closely with those suppliers, that's vital. But they wanted to go beyond just buying and selling. They wanted real partnerships.
So how'd CFTs fit into that?
They made CFTs that had both Volvo people and people from their key suppliers, all working side by side. Product design, development, logistics, you name it. Broke down the walls, worked as one unit.
That's so smart. It's not even coordinating after the fact. It's getting everyone on board right away.
Exactly. Leverage everyone's expertise right from the start. Volvo saw massive improvements. Efficiency, quality, innovation, all of it went up. And the suppliers, they felt valued, more invested in Volvo's success, which of course just made the relationship even stronger.
It's like those awful customer service phone trees that go nowhere. What if more companies use this whole integrated CFT approach for customers too?
Right. Same idea applies. Imagine a CFT with sales, marketing, product development, customer support, all focused on just making the customer happy.
Finding those pain points together, actually fixing them.
Yep. You go from siloed departments to a truly customer-focused company where everyone's aligned on, like, actually delivering.
This has been great, honestly. We've covered so much, from the inside of CFTs to how they change partnerships. But I know our listeners, they're going to want to put this into practice. What are the takeaways, the actual tools they can use to build their own A-team CFTs? Give us the toolkit.
Love that. And luckily, the research delivers one framework that pops up. Global Supply Chain Forum Framework, GSCF for short.
GSCF. Sounds legit. But is this like actually used or just theory stuff?
Oh, it's used. Companies are putting it to work to build and run those top-tier CFTs.
Right.
Basically, it's a structured approach to collaboration.
Like a roadmap, like we were talking about with Volvo and their suppliers.
Exactly. Lays out the key stuff. Planning together, how you'll communicate, how risks and rewards are shared, all those crucial parts of a successful partnership.
So helpful, right? Takes out the guesswork, gives you that starting point.
100%. And the cool thing is, GSCF is flexible. It's used a lot for supplier relationships, yeah, but you can adapt it. Internal projects, customer stuff, pretty much any collaborative thing, really.
That's awesome. But I imagine there are also like potential downsides, right? Things to avoid. No system's perfect.
You're right. And the research gets into some common traps that can mess up even a promising CFT, one that trips teams up, not clearly defining everyone's roles and responsibilities right away.
Oh yeah, recipe for disaster. Too many cooks, as they say. Everyone assumes someone is on that crucial task, and then nope.
Exactly. Clarity is key. Another pitfall. Bad communication channels. Got to establish those right off the bat, otherwise it's siloed info, misunderstandings, the works.
So more than just communicating, it's about doing it well. The right channels, making sure everyone's literally on the same page. What else should people watch out for?
Big one, and it seems obvious, but if senior management isn't truly on board, if CFTs aren't a priority from the top down, you're in trouble.
Can't just throw a CFT together and hope for the best. Got to have the company backing it, the resources, the whole shebang.
Absolutely. And remember, the CFT stuff, it's not a one-and-done deal. You got to constantly be checking in, adapting, learning how to do it better.
Building that culture of collaboration, of always improving. Now, I want to go back to something we touched on earlier. We talked about how CFTs can help a company's performance, the numbers, right? But what about the people? Are there benefits beyond just, like, the bottom line?
Super important point. While the research shows CFTs can boost profits, yeah, the good stuff goes way beyond that.
That's what I was thinking. This kind of environment, it's got to be great for morale, for how satisfied people are at work.
For sure. When you feel valued, heard, like you can actually use your skills and ideas. That creates ownership, pride in the work, more motivation, more engagement. People are just happier.
And I bet it's amazing for learning and growing in your career. You're constantly surrounded by people with different expertise, picking up new stuff all the time.
Exactly. Cross-training, mentorship, it's all there. Team members get this broader view of how things work, learn new skills that'll help them in the long run.
So it's a win-win. The company benefits, but it also creates a space for individuals to grow and thrive. It seems like CFTs, they could really push a company to be more collaborative, more innovative overall.
That's the real magic of it. CFTs can change not just how work gets done, but the whole feeling of work itself.
Challenge is how we usually think about work, right? Instead of these separate departments, what if we had more of this fluid CFT-driven thing? Teams formed around specific projects, bringing the best people together, regardless of their department.
Now, that's an interesting thought, and it fits with this whole trend of companies being more agile, more adaptable. Imagine a company where people can contribute to different projects, use their skills where they're needed most, and just constantly be learning.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah.
A workplace where everyone feels valued, engaged, excited to contribute. Maybe CFTs are more than just a tool for getting things done. Maybe they're a way to make work more fulfilling, more human.
It's a powerful idea, and it makes you wonder, what if success wasn't just about the bottom line, but about creating a workplace where everyone feels valued, inspired, and able to reach their full potential?
It's like we've stumbled on this whole different way of working, one that actually makes sense for people.
And the best part, it's not some impossible dream.
Right. It's taking these tools, these ideas, and actually using them.
Doesn't matter if you're on a small team or a huge company, collaboration works.
It's about those different viewpoints, making sure everyone can talk openly, and that feeling of, like, I can contribute here, my ideas matter.
And it's a journey, this CFT stuff.
Always learning, tweaking things, figuring out what works best.
Celebrate the wins, sure, but those bumps along the way, gotta learn from those too.
Because no team's perfect.
Exactly. Those moments where it goes wrong. Biggest chances to learn and actually innovate.
So true. Got to be willing to experiment, try new things, even if it's outside your comfort zone.
And to everyone listening, we want to hear from you.
Yes. What's your experience with these cross-functional teams, good or bad? Anything really click with you today?
Hit us up on social media, shoot us an email, let's keep this going.
Because the future of work, it's not going to be about those rigid departments anymore.
It's got to be about working together, coming up with new ideas, and making work a place where everyone can actually thrive.
Couldn't agree more. And on that note, thank you so much for joining us for this deep dive into CFTs.
My pleasure. Really enjoyed it.
And to all our amazing listeners, keep those questions coming, keep pushing the boundaries, and as always, keep diving deep.